Safety and water safety and lifeguards.
All right. Well, the lifeguard thing is turning into the classic example of gross incompetence, negligence here. Briefly stated, my interest in lifeguards began about 4 years ago when I witnessed a drowning. And I initiated a letter to the governor after investigating and finding just how many injuries there were, suggesting a need for lifeguards. That resulted in a bill going through the state legislature that called for lifeguards in Makena State Park. It sailed through both houses. No one spoke against it. Then it died when they couldn't agree as to some of the subtleties of how it was to be funded. Well, jump ahead another year. Bill was reintroduced, but this didn't go anywhere. Jump ahead another year. Similar bill was introduced. It didn't go anywhere. But our Senator, Ross Baker, saw that money was put into the budget of the DLNR for lifeguards. And this had the approval of the legislature. And lo and behold, they were allocated $500,000, $406,000 for lifeguards, another $100,000 for equipment. This money became available July 1st in 2007. The date of this filming, that's over a year ago. And the idea was that the county would provide this service, and the whole program was predicated on that concept. The county, that's where I got the information. Those are the people that I talked to that put together this figure. They were advised that we had the money, and back in May of last year, it sounded like they were going to implement that. But as we got into it, it found that they found reasons to put it off. Somehow they couldn't come to an understanding of what the county was going to do, and they couldn't get the state to properly agree to it or whatever, they stretched out. So the bottom line is they put it off, and the whole year passed. During that year, we had 2 men drown. We had 20 people suffer neck compression injuries. We had a dozen people that broke their ankles. We had, I think, 2 or 3 broken legs. We had a number of injuries. The tourists and local people come down here, certainly the tourists, they don't understand about shore break. This beach has a reputation as the most dangerous beach on this island. It's
pounds. This big beach waves pound.
They pound. We have a shore break. You can get your head pounded into the sand, and when you do, the sand doesn't give, your neck does. I know 3 men that broke their necks in the surf. 2 of them are paraplegics. The third runs around like nothing happened because he was pulled out by paramedics basically when it happened, and had an injection that reduced the swelling, and they just put him in a body cast, and he healed up.
Wow.
But that's the problem, and I don't really know these neck compressions. It could be nothing more than a temporary thing, and these people could be fine. I don't have any follow-up data. The other side of that is that they are paralyzed for life. And I have been involved where I've loaded people into the ambulance where they have no feelings in their extremities.
That's hard.
If any of these accidents could have been prevented by lifeguards, and the main role of the lifeguard is not to pull the people out of the water, it's to be here and give information out to people and say, these conditions are bad, this is what's going on here, put up warning flags, talk to people, go up to people that are in harm's way that don't understand that, and explain that to them. And that's how they function, and that's what they do, and that's what prevents accidents. If you have people not going out, they can't get hurt. And that's not happening. And they're giving me this nonsense. They need to have towers built and brought in. They need this and that. They don't need that. In '94, they had 2 men working down here as lifeguards. They used a portable tower. These men had a quad, and they did the job. They were pulled out because of liability issues.
The
Those
liability issues is why their main thing that they use to do what they want.
What was happening is the lifeguards got sued. And but that's been changed. The legislature has passed legislation that indemnifies the county, and that issue is non-existent.
Oh, cool.